day. My name is Alexis Wall. In this video, we are going to talk a little bit about myofascial trigger point release and the upper back. How we could release chronically tight tonic muscles that's been fired over and over and repeatedly again. They're not really letting go right now. Especially apply for people who sit at the computer on the desk all the time, who has a office work, who use the iPhone a lot. Our shoulder posture is always rounded forward, and on occasion looking at the screen, stooping forward. So these may create constant chronic contraction on the, say for instance, the pectoralis, the front side of the body, the pecs, and also a lot of sort of lengthening forward this way. This will be really tight here, the SCM. The levator scapula here will be really tight. And also the trapezius, the upper trapezius, super tight because of this constant contraction of firing those muscles. How do we release these really tight muscles? I have a method for you. It's known as myofascial therapy, or myofascial trigger point release. What we're gonna do today is not just using myofascial release, but also using this technique, coupled it with pranayama to help further release the muscles. You know, just breathing and holding in that trigger point position. Now, I want to share with you that this is a great technique to use, although it might be a little bit, for some people who especially have super chronically tight muscles, a little tender and maybe sometimes painful. If it is too much, we need to back off. When I say back off, it means just reduce the weight that we put on it. Is this ball here is a lacrosse ball. They also sell this at Amazon. Is a therapeutic ball, or if you Google myofascial ball or yoga balls, they will show up. And it's slightly soft, but it's not that soft. It's kind of rubbery, and it's just pretty firm. So I find, and alternatively, you can use tennis ball as well, but I find these balls really incredibly nice. It gives a very sweet hang, or sweet tenderness. So anyways, this is great. We will start with the occiput. I do not have, since I'm traveling and I'm in this beautiful tropical location right here, I do not have this with me. There is a tool which has a twin ball that is attached to each other. So two of these with a connection attached to each other. Those are great for the base of the neck, the occiput row. Just sort of like, because when we fall forward this way, there's like, these guys are constantly working and they are incredibly tight, having these two balls just resting at the base of the neck. I'm feeling it. Gently give pressure to it. Don't apply too much pressure immediately. Just gently give pressure to it. Feel how it feels. And if this ball feels good, just sit on it until the tenderness slowly kind of goes away. Another thing you might want to consider as you're doing that is breathe. So important. With that breath, it relaxes the nervous system. It allows the muscles to relax along with the nervous system, and you could actually slowly, a little by little, just let that muscle let go. So I'm not going to be demonstrating the occiput one today because I don't have that tool. I just describe how you can use it. You could use that from all the way from here. You could roll it slowly down your spine. Find any tender spot. If you find any tender spot here, pause and stay. feel if you can lean back a little bit or a little bit more. It's all up to you. So you could slowly roll that ball down all the way down to this base of the lower back, if you like. Just finding your way, feeling your way through, being mindful and present to the sensation as you roll the ball all the way through down to the lower back. Now, what I can show you with this technique here today is using this one ball that I have on the upper trap and perhaps even slightly on the levator scapula here. It's a little bit hard to get to. This part here, you could actually go to a wall and you press that on the wall, and I kind of just breathe. Yogic breath, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? And then the other side, same thing, the other side. So, and on the floor position, this is how we could do it on the floor position. We could, this is more moving to the upper traps area and roll the levator, but it's more upper traps area, and just sitting and rolling in it and breathing. That's the cold bird. It's mating call. It's looking for a mate, and once it finds it, keep breathing and give it time. Muscles doesn't just relax instantly, it takes time. Anyway, back to the cold bird, K-O-E-L. Once it finds its mate, it is supposed to couple permanently. The louder the call, the more desperate the male is in looking for a mate. I just did a little jungle tour this morning. Switch side, move it to the other side, same thing. Breathe, relax. Yeah, and that was one of the things that I learned today. I've been hearing it all week. You know what it is doing, what it is. If it is a bird, can a bird be that loud? Apparently. Breathe. And relax. Release that. Now, you may also place it under your shoulder blades, just not on bone, but any spot where you can feel some tenderness, but not bone. Rolling on it, finding the sore spot. As soon as you find a sore spot, stay where you are and just breathe. And I do it on the opposite side as well. It feels really good for me to do that right now. Just kind of rolling out the tight muscles. It gets to the deep fascia layer instead of just the superficial layer. And it's like, for me, I'm just moving my arm to get to different spots here. It's really just incredible. It's like a sweet, tender sensation. Like, getting a deep tissue massage, and even more depending on how you roll it. Other side, same thing. Balance it all out. Don't forget your pranayama breathing as you do this. I'm moving my hands again, just feeling different angles of tenderness. It's this thing I call sweet pain, which is like just this like really nice, sweet tenderness. That's fine. But if it's like this deep, sharp, pinching nerve pain, back off, move away, and continue breathing. Remember, not bone on ball, just more find the muscle tissues and like roll on that, getting to the deep fascia layer with more weight on. And breathing it, allowing that trigger point to allow that muscles to relax slowly. It takes time, it takes many breaths, and it takes repeated motion, I wouldn't call this practice, but repeated sometimes therapy to get them, especially for those of us who have really tight muscles, to get it to loosen up. All right, that's for the upper traps and mid traps, and also some place under the armpit. And I'm gonna now roll over to my belly. And for people like us, I am one of them who has a very tight upper back and shoulders. This is super helpful for the pecs as well. This is really incredibly painful for me to roll the pecs and start. I know my sternum, like this joint here is really tight, so I usually try to roll it right here, and I can feel the intensity even right now. It's so intense I have to sort of back off a little bit and lift my body a little bit. That's fine. Just feel it. Once you find some intensity, you can just breathe into it. And pectoralis muscle is a tonic muscles. They like to fire and for the posture to support us, you know, but like in our modern lifestyle, we're constantly rounding forward. So it's always in this contracting position. How can we balance it out? How can we tell it, oh, you can relax now, especially when it's always in that position? It doesn't know how to relax. How can we help tell it to relax if it doesn't know how? This is one way. And your breath. Of course there are other ways, but this is one way. Other side, same thing. As we sit here with our breath, we connect our breath to our mind, and we be here with our body, this house of ours. Feel what it is going through. Feel what it needs. Maybe it's screaming for you to give it attention. And feel that. Give it to it. Give the attention that it needs right now to it. Don't go away. Don't go away. Just listen. And it's time, roll it to a different position and find what it is talking. What is it telling you in this different spot? Breathe. Slowly come up. Press up. Now this is just a little bit of basic on myofascial release for the upper back, tightness around the pectoralis, the upper traps, the neck, and the occiput area, even the SCM. For people who has really tight SCM, you could gently just pinch this area, sort of just rub it. Not too tight though, but not too strong, because there are some pretty major, you know, nerves or whatever you call it down there. So just kind of rub it. Alright, now that concludes the myofascial pranayama breathing session. Namaste.